Okay, hey everybody. I want to talk about toxic behaviors and toxic people, particularly I'll use myself as an example. I know what it's like to have been addicted to toxic people. And, we have all of these things in our life that we face, emotional trauma from the point we're born all the way to the point that we become adults, and even beyond that point, whether or not a loved one has our parents maybe have gone through a divorce, maybe someone has betrayed us, maybe we've had sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental, emotional abuse. Maybe you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a spouse or someone that is really wrecking your brain emotionally. Maybe you have someone that you're attached to that is really manipulating you to the point to where you're dealing with all of this emotional trauma, all of this toxic behavior, and so you've got all this crud on you. It's like a car battery, right? You've got all this crud on you and you can't start. Like every time you go to start a car, and sometimes they'll say pour Coke on the battery, right? So that the carbonation of the Coke, the drink, can wash the erosion or the corrosion away from the battery, right? So how do you wash that trauma away so that you can crank your life up and move forward? And what I've learned is that a lot of times our toxic behaviors, or the reasons why we are constantly attracted to toxic people, is because there is a toxic person in our life, right? So look, I want you to do this. Think about this. If right now you feel that you're struggling with toxic behaviors or whatever your it is, see, that's the thing. We all have an it, right? And if you don't have an it right now, you will have another it, right? So we always have something it to overcome, right? But if you're deeply struggling with toxic behaviors, maybe you're struggling with depression, maybe you're struggling with maybe your it is manipulating others, right? A lot of times our own toxic behaviors can be traced to toxic people. So think about who is in your circle, who are the people around you, and that's where you start to see there are people. A lot of times people think they're friends, right? We have a way of even manipulating ourselves to think that the people in our circle who are causing us the most damage are the ones who love us. Ooh, man, yeah. So the very people we manipulate and brainwash ourselves to think that are good for us are the ones that have the biggest knife in our back. So sometimes it's just doing a reality check. And look, just because you become aware that the person who could be killing you emotionally or feeding you the most toxins is in your life, and you become aware of who they are, it doesn't mean you necessarily have the strength to overcome and break that relationship, because a lot of times these people embed themselves. It's sort of like a leech, right? When a leech attaches itself to your skin, it really burrows down, or like a tick on a dog, it burrows down into beneath the fur, beneath the skin, and starts to suck your blood. It starts to suck your life away. And a lot of times with a tick or a leech, you have to kill it. You have to, in order to pull it off, you've got to, sometimes people would get a lighter and try to burn them off. You got to kill it in order to be set free from it. And sometimes you have to kill or end those relationships that are responsible for the most toxic, they're giving you the most toxic stuff, right? The most crud. But hold on just a second. I want to say this. Just start with acknowledging and looking at the people in your life. A lot of times you won't be able to overcome these toxic relationships and break free from them overnight, right? So number one, the first step is just becoming aware, because a lot of people are in denial that boyfriend or that girlfriend or even that spouse or that business partner, yeah, even that business partner could be toxic. And so just simply becoming aware, and that's the thing. We all have a mirror. So look in your mirror. I would challenge you, just look in your mirror. A mirror isn't designed to try to convince you to do anything. A mirror is designed just simply to show you what's there. And once you see what's there, we can begin to work on how to respond to what is there. But let's just deal with becoming aware. And so I really wanted to create this video to just let you know that I understand what it's like to live a life where you become, where you convince your own self that the people who are hurting you the most are okay for you, because you need to feed off of that, because that's called codependency, right? Woo. Man, this is good. This is good. Look, I know how it is. I've been there. And so this is why a lot of times your businesses don't grow, or our people's businesses don't grow, or we get stuck in life and we struggle. And so we have really cool words that we use. We call it procrastination, right? And we say, oh, I lack motivation. But no, there's a tick. There's a leak. Something has got attached to you and you have to dig it out. In order to dig it out, though, you first have to take your clothes off and get naked and assess and look at your body and see what has gotten attached to you. And once you're able to do that, well, we can work on the rest. But let's start with being honest about ourselves and being honest about what has gotten connected to us and how have we attracted to us those toxic people to us. Largely because of everything that we went through from the point we were a child, divorce. I don't know what your parents went through, whatever you experienced, emotional trauma. But once we enter this world, we have so many things coming at us, and those things shape us, and they sometimes cause us to unknowingly attract toxic people. And then once those people come into our lives, we're comfortable with them. So hopefully this video awakens you to the need to become uncomfortable with that which is attached itself to you. Okay, all right. I hope you enjoyed this video. Love to hear your comments about this particular subject. And yeah, I think this is pretty cool. This is a great way to get started.